Chapter 43. Country Days and Kimchi. The school holiday had begun, a full week of rest. Nora wanted to take the children to a quiet place, far from the pressures of the city, far from Jiho's father's threats, and far from the provocations of the family lawyer. Jiho suggested visiting his grandmother in the countryside. The house is small, but it overlooks the rice fields. The air is clean, my grandmother cooks wonderfully. You will benefit from the change. Nora hesitated. We will not be a burden to her, Jiho laughed. My grandmother has dreamed of such a visit for months. She loves guests, especially small guests. And so, on Monday morning, the four set off for the countryside. Nora, Adam, Layan, and Jiho. A temporary farewell to the city, to the problems, to the lawyers, and to the potential fiancé. The house was as Jiho had described it. A red-tiled roof, old stone walls, and a wide courtyard full of herbs and wildflowers. A gray dog was sleeping on the wooden steps. Layan insisted on naming her Cloud II. Grandmother hand-greeted them at the door. She was a woman in her late 80s, her hair completely white, her face wrinkled like a dried apple, but her eyes were bright and curious. She wore a blue apron, and her hands were covered in flour. You have arrived, she cried loudly. Jiho, you did not tell me they are so young. Grandmother, I told you Layan is 5. 5 looks smaller in the eyes of an old woman. Come inside. The kimchi is ready and the pancakes are hot. The children entered the house with wide eyes. The smell of fresh bread, fermented kimchi, and boiling stew filled the place. It was warm, not only because of the heater, but because of the feeling that this house was a rest stop from everything. Everyone sat around the low wooden table. Grandmother placed dishes of kimchi in its various colors, red spicy, white soft, and green. She was proud of her recipe inherited from her mother. Try this, Grandmother said to Nora as she placed a piece of kimchi on her plate. I prepared it myself. Very secret. Do not tell anyone. Nora smiled. She tried it. The taste of the kimchi was different from anything she had eaten in Seoul. More sour, deeper, as though it carried the taste of the years. It is wonderful, Nora said honestly. Of course it is wonderful. I prepared it. Layan ate voraciously. The kimchi was somewhat spicy, but she did not complain. She ate and said delicious, delicious between each bite. Adam was more reserved. He ate slowly, his left hand, which was still recovering from the wound, resting on the table. Grandmother noticed that. Your hand, my boy, what happened? An accident at school, Adam said quietly. Grandmother looked at Nora. Nora did not explain. She only nodded. Children heal quickly, Grandmother said, and small wounds make us stronger, do they not? I do not want to be stronger, Adam said suddenly. I only want to be normal. The table fell silent for a moment. Then Grandmother said in her warm, slow voice, Normal is a vague concept, my boy. Everyone has their own normal. You are not less than anyone. You are only different. And difference is not a flaw. Adam looked at her. In her eyes he saw no pity. He saw something else, a deep understanding of someone who had also suffered and knew how to keep walking. Grandmother, Layan said suddenly, why is your house small? Layan, Nora rebuked her. No, a good question, Grandmother said, laughing. My house is small because I do not need more than this. I have walls that warm me, windows that overlook the fields, and grandchildren who come to visit me sometimes. What more could I ask for? A large playground, Layan said. Grandmother laughed. I will think about it. In the afternoon, everyone went out to the courtyard. Grandmother prepared bread in the old way, dough left to ferment, then baked on a hot stone. The smell covered the entire field. Jiho sat with his grandmother on a wooden bench. She was kneading the dough with her skilled hands. Jiho, she said without looking at him, tell me the truth. What is happening between you and your father? I do not want to speak of this. You always do not want to speak, but silence does not solve problems. He sighed. He has filed a case against me. He wants to force me to return. And will you return? No, Grandmother stopped kneading. She looked at him with her sharp eyes. Then how will you face him? With lawyer Kim Jin-ah and with Nora. Nora, she is important to you, is she not? Jiho was silent. She is not. Do not finish. I know when my grandson is trying to evade. Nora is not merely a friend. I have seen how you look at her. He looked at the ground. I do not know what I feel. I am afraid to name things, because naming makes them real, and the real can hurt. Grandmother placed her warm hand over his. Fear is natural, but staying in the zone of fear forever is not a solution. One day you will have to choose. Either you move forward or you remain where you are, but remaining where you are means you will never grow. Meanwhile, Layan was walking in the field with Nora. She was picking wildflowers and placing them in a small basket. Suddenly, she stopped and looked at the sky. Nora, do you think Cloud the cat is thinking of us? Cats do not think of humans much. But I think of her. Perhaps she also thinks of me. Nora smiled despite herself. Perhaps. Nora, will Jiho become part of our family? Nora stopped. Layan had asked this simple question with complete innocence. She did not know the complexities, the conflicts, the cases, and the threats. She was only a child who loved to have an extended family. I do not know, Nora said finally, but he is not a stranger to us. That is what I know. That is enough, Layan said as though announcing a universal truth, because true friends do not need formal names, they only need to be present. In the evening, Grandmother prepared a special dinner. Fried kimchi pancakes, chicken soup with herbs, and hot white rice. But what caught Nora's attention was a small bowl on the table. Inside it, grape jam, the same kind she had sent with Jiho before. This is my secret recipe, Grandmother said as she placed a spoonful of jam on Nora's plate. I make it from grapes from the field behind the house. 20 years ago, my husband cultivated the vines. Now I only take care of them. The grapes have become fewer, but the jam is still delicious. Nora tasted it. The flavor was both sweet and sour at once. Like life. Like her memories of her hometown before the explosion. Like everything she had lost and was still searching for. It is very delicious, she said in a faint voice. Take some with you when you return, for the children, and for the cold winter days. Nora thanked her. And in that moment she felt something she had not felt in years, that she was wanted. Not because she was strong or capable of protecting others, but because she was a person who could be loved simply for her existence. Before sleep, Jiho sat with Nora. The moon was full and the sky was full of stars. The countryside was quiet, no noise, no bright lights, only silence and nature. My grandmother loves you, Jiho said. I also love her. She does not love anyone easily, but when she loves deeply. Nora looked at him. What about you? Do you love easily? He thought for a long time. I have never loved anyone, not in this way. In which way? The way that makes you feel you want to be better, not for someone else but for yourself, because they made you see the possibility of improvement. Nora was silent. Then she said, that is a beautiful way to describe love. Have you ever loved anyone? She looked at the stars. I loved my parents and my siblings. I loved my hometown before it disappeared. Now, I love Adam and Layan, that is all. And that is not little. No, but it is not enough sometimes. At night when they are asleep, I feel emptiness, as though there is a part of me that wants something else, something I do not know how to name. Perhaps that something is to love someone who chooses to stay with you, not because they are forced, but because they want to. Nora looked at him. In the moonlight, his face was different, less rigid, more human. Perhaps, she said,